Welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It is Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I tell you, we're going to have a wonderful show today. I'm excited. This young lady is her first time on the show, so I'm going to see what I can get her to talk about. She looks so serious in the green room, though. I don't know. Maybe I can get her to smile a few times. But we're going to see what happens. Y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all stick around. We're going to see what's going on. So as always, I like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. I've been with Dr. Hunt for 30 plus years now. And I tell you, if you don't have a mentor, you need to get one. He has been a blessing to me and my family. And I tell you, I would not know what I would do if it were not for him being my mentor over all these years. And not only just a mentor, but a friend and a brother. So 30 years is a long time. You definitely want to have somebody that you can reach out to when you've got troubling times to get those questions answered. So get you a mentor, always. And I'm going to shout them out every time I go live because it's my show. I get to do that. So I want to invite everybody to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to check out all of my advertisers. Without them, I would not be able to do what I do. Here is a list of a few of them that I want you to check out. RRJ Web. If you are interested in starting a website, or if you have a website that is broken, he can fix it for you. So check out RRJ Web Solutions. Search Synergy. If you want to know how much money you can save by getting solar panels on your business or on your home, you definitely want to reach out to them and find out what you can do to save money. Port Again Sam brings in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. I tell you, Sam has an inventory in now that he can find your favorite. Whatever used to be your favorite, he can find you a new favorite. So click on any one of these tabs. It'll take you directly to their website. Schedule a wine tasting or give them a call and find out what you got to do in order to take advantage of what they're offering. Prince Hunter Financial Group is offering 4 free classes for anybody who is interested in learning how to work the stock market, either the Forex market or the stock market. You definitely want to talk to him and find out how it works, how to navigate the stock market and the Forex market so that you can get out there and make money like the professionals do. So Prince Hunter Financial Group. So like I said before, we have this young lady on the show, and it's so interesting how I came to know her. A good friend of mine, Lawrence, was out with her with another good friend of mine, Lester, and they were having a conversation about relationships. And I was kind of scrolling the internet at that particular time, and I saw the group as they were speaking. They were souling, y'all. They was getting down. They were talking about, interesting things, and I was like, wow. And I heard her talk about, that she was a television personality, and she has her own show and doing podcasts. And I'm like, I wonder if she would be interested in coming on my show and just hanging out for a little bit. So she said yes. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. She ain't scared. So for the very first time, I'd like to welcome Miss Tiffany A. Hale. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. How are you this evening?
I am wonderful. You
Great.
know,
Hello, everyone.
yeah, it's interesting. You all were just having casual conversation,
Yes.
just expressing yourselves, and you caught my attention. I was like, I don't know how many other people's attention you caught, but you caught my attention. I was like, wow, Okay, they throwing down on the rooftop somewhere. And I was like, man, they getting deep up there. I mean, I actually listened to the whole thing, and I was like, oh
Wonderful.
wow,
Wonderful.
yeah, that was
Wonderful.
an interesting topic. You want to share what the topic was about?
Yes, so we were having, so I'm Tiffany Hale from Tip Tuesday. As Dr. Ron said, it is a social media talk show. I am the creator and the host, and I will be joining another podcast as a co-host. And this podcast is called Real Talk, and it will be with Lester White, and he goes by Mr. Real Talk. So you can look him up on Facebook and on Instagram. But he has a new podcast launching. I will be a guest co-host on that podcast. And so we were having a business meeting. We were just out having a business meeting, and we were just talking like we do, because we are friends. So we talk about ministry, we talk about relationships, we talk about parenting, we talk about business, finances, we talk about a lot of things. So at this point, we were talking about relationships, and Lawrence Henderson, who will also be another co-host on the show, he asked a question. We were just asking questions amongst each other, and he decided to go live. Actually, on a question he was asking me, which was just about relationships. What do we require when you're doing certain things or you're on a certain journey in life? What do you require out of a mate, or out of a husband, or if it's a man, out of a wife? And of course, everyone's answer will be different to that. So we had different people chiming in to those answers, and um, just relating it to our faith and our walk and where we are. So there were two men on the rooftop, two ladies, all different. So everyone has a different answer, of course.
Yeah, very interesting. Like I said, it caught my attention. So you mentioned that you are a host. What else do you do? Do you have others, endeavors that you're involved in?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm an entrepreneur. I do have a consulting firm. I have a boutique consulting firm. I'm just working with advisory and strategic planning and discrimination cases. So I do a lot
Okay.
of work with EEO. I also am the creator and head purpose development coach for a coaching program called IP Squared, and that's short for Igniting People and Purpose. And I'm also the founder of IMT Enterprises.
Okay. So are you an attorney by trade, or you studied law, or?
No, I'm not an attorney by trade. I
Okay.
do have my graduate degree, but I'm not an attorney.
Okay. All right. So do you have a large roster of people that you help, or, what would be your typical clientele, you would say?
I do government contracts
Okay.
and state contracts. So I don't take individual clients within my consulting firm, within my EEO consulting firm. I don't take individual clients. I do take some individual clients for the program. And even with that, I still get contracts for the coaching program. But that is more open to individuals coming in and helping individuals more with just personal development and purpose development.
Okay. So say, for instance, if I wanted to be mentored by you, what would I have to do?
You would email me at admin.tiptuesday.net, state what you are looking for, and then someone will get back to you with an intake form. And once I go over that intake form, then I will contact the person myself just to see if the coaching program would be a good fit for that person.
Well, what if I don't know what I need? People say they're a mentor, but I don't know what I need. I mean, that's why I'm coming to trying to find help to find out what I need. So, do you evaluate people to?
No, because I sometimes people they want business. I'm not a business coach, so it's personal
Hmm.
development and purpose. So it's for people who at least want to identify their purpose, or if they've identified it, they are trying to develop within their purpose or personal development. So I work strictly in that area. I don't, if you want financial mentoring, you got to go to a financial coach. If you want
Mm-hmm.
business mentoring, you got to go to a business coach. If you're looking for personal development or you're looking for purpose coaching, then that's what I do.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get that out there so that people can understand, when they reach out to you, what would be the area that you can
Yeah,
best serve them
purpose development coach. I have it in
yeah.
my title. I'm a purpose development coach, so I try to make
Mm-hmm.
it as plain as possible. Purpose development and personal development. That's it.
Personal development. Okay. Now, and all of your contracts with the government entities, I know you say EEO officer, that are you helping these entities help clear up some of their, I don't want to call them, unfavorable behavior when it comes to people of color. But is that something that is on the agenda of some of these agencies that you work with?
Well, not necessarily. I wouldn't word it like that, and I wouldn't word it just with people of color. It is for any category that falls under the EEO law, which is more than people of colors, people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be a person of color. A person of Caucasian descent can be discriminated against. And so it's not limited to people of color. However, they are included in
Okay.
that in those categories. And so there's several different levels that I work on. So there's discrimination cases where I do the fact finding. And after I do my report, interview, depose witnesses, then I goes over to an administrative judge and they make the decision. And then there's a portion of the company where I do advisory work and inquiries. And that's where, before it becomes a formal EEO case, I will do an inquiry on the low informal level just to see if there could be any animus towards discrimination. And if there is, I can give my observation and my recommendation. Sometimes it's not animus towards discrimination. Some people just need management training. Some
Mm-hmm.
people's personalities just do not mesh well. And so it's a matter of learning how to work together more than it is a discrimination or harassment case. So in that role, in my advisory role, I do more recommendation and advising. And in my investigator role, I do the fact finding process and pass that along to an administrative judge to make the decision.
Okay. All right. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, it's it's I guess it's fun for me because it's fulfilling for me, but it can be stressful hearing. Some people are
Okay.
very emotionally tied to what may be going on or what they perceive is going on at work. And so they can be under a lot of stress and just dealing with multiple people, multiple personalities, different positions within agencies. It can be a lot at times, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Okay. So that's what you would call your day job.
Yes, I would call that. Well, I guess I haven't said anything about I haven't used job in so long. But
Okay.
yes, so that is my consulting business and things that fall under IMT Enterprises. It's more of my ministry. It's more in line with the core of my purpose.
Okay. You mentioned the word ministry. So, what type of ministries would you consider yourself proficient in, if I can use the word proficient?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one, I first and foremost am a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I am a believer. I am an ordained minister of the gospel. So I do preach and teach from the Word of God. Anything that I do. So IMT Enterprises, which is impactfully motivating the culture, stands for three things. It's for I am Tiffany and Israel, Micah, and Tiffany, which are my daughters and who are the legacy to this enterprise. So it's a ministry, and under that falls several brands, and each brand is a different ministry, which Tip Tuesday, I minister empowerment to Black businesses, to the community as a whole, and to those who are looking to find and follow their purpose. So do empowerment and support through Tip Tuesday. IP Squared is the coaching and development program, and that's where I help people find and develop their purpose and do personal development through there. And I also write. So I write manuals. And so I
Okay.
minister through writing, for those who are readers, just like I am. Now, those I teach, minister, and do my coaching programs from the manuals that I write, but I have not published them yet.
Okay. All right. So, do you have like a church home where people can come and visit and see you
I do.
uh,
I
in
do. I have a
action?
church home. Yes, I am located in the city of Chicago. The Inner City Life
Okay.
Center Church of Deliverance is my church home. It's a great church for anyone who's looking for a church home. I do minister there from time to time, and we have other great ministers that minister, and of course, our senior leaders are wonderful.
Okay. Where's it at?
855 North Monticello.
855 Monticello. Is that West Side?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just trying to put that together. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do Uber, so I kind of know a little bit about where everything is at.
Okay, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Come see us. Anyone looking for a church home?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't, it's interesting. And now see, that's gonna make me tell a story on myself. You know, my mentor, Dr. Hunt, is originally from the West Side.
Hmm.
And I was, traveling with him all over the country. We would go from Florida to New York, anywhere.
Hmm.
But when he was going to the West Side, I was like, I ain't going.
You would
When
say
he
no.
went to the West Side, I'm like, I ain't going. You on your own.
Uh, you discriminated against the West Side,
Yes,
huh?
I did. See, I grew up on the South Side. See, so it
Okay.
was always interesting how the South Side and the West Side usually have this ongoing
Right, right,
territorial boundary thing.
right.
And they're both equally as crazy on the South Side and on the West Side. But I found my comfort zone on the South Side more than I did on the West Side. So he would be looking at me, boy. He would preach on me, boy. He's like, "Look, we going to the West Side." Yeah, be like, Dr. Ron ain't coming, y'all.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So, but it's an ongoing thing that he used to use when he would try to encourage people to follow him.
Mhm.
When he would be going to visit other places, to mentor and minister, whatever was going on at that particular time, he would definitely be going to the West Side, all over the place actually,
Mhm.
so. But that was my thing. I ain't going to the West Side. I ain't going to the
Ah,
West Side.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the West Siders didn't want to hear that.
No, no. And it's kind of funny. I had family on the West Side. I had brothers and sisters that extended family on the West Side. So I would definitely go to visit them when we were all growing up. But it was just something that I said I ain't going. I ain't going.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I might be delivered by now. I might have to come to the West Side.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, go on, get
You
that
know.
deliverance and come on over there to the
Yeah,
church.
yeah. It's so funny. Lawrence, he has his church on the West Side too.
Yep.
And he would say, "Hey, Brother Ron, I'm gonna come by and pick you up." He wouldn't call me Dr. Ron. He said, Brother Ron, I'm gonna come by and pick you up. One Sunday morning. I said, okay. He never called me, so I said, "Phew, I'm off the hook." He ain't never called me, so that worked out okay.
Hmm.
You know, so tell me more about yourself. I'm interested. When you're in the pulpit, what would you say is your pet message? Let's just start with that.
I don't necessarily have a pet message because I when I'm ministering, I minister whatever the Lord gives me for that day or that time or that season. Um, and so I don't necessarily think I could have a pat message because I would seek the Lord for a fresh word to release to people. I'm very much so, though, a person of order and wisdom. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say probably the heaviest takeaway point that people may get if they had to come to a consensus about the message is the wisdom of God and the heart of God concerning whatever topic it is that I minister on. But I'm like that in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just in the pulpit, just my everyday life and counsel is like that. Very I'm very wisdom focused, counsel focused, purpose focused, and so I think that comes out in everything I do because that's just how I'm wired.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Yeah. So now, when you speak about mentoring, do you focus your mentoring just towards women, or would you say you do both women and men?
Both, both. I
Okay.
have yeah, no, I don't have a preference. So, whosoever will and is open.
Okay.
That's mentor.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, people focus on, women empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. They feel like that's their agenda, that's their focus. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, if that was something that would be, your particular, area, but you say both. Now, is
Both.
it different?
I'm focused on empowerment. So I don't have a gender that I'm focused on. I'm focused on empowerment. Anyone trying to pursue their purpose. I am there to empower them. Yes, I do. I would say it's different. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I would say it's different. Mhm.
So who's harder to work with, men or women?
Depending on the situation, it could be either or.
Okay.
It can be it can be either or.
Okay. All right. So you trying to keep it neutral, huh? You ain't gonna you ain't gonna bust the brothers in the head, huh?
No, 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 because I've no, I mean I can see different things when I'm working with males. Males can be a little less defensive. But
Okay.
also at the same time, sometimes you have males who may not want to receive mentoring from a woman, or they may receive it on a certain level, but they may not want to receive it on the level that you're able to give it. So there's, I mean, it just depends on the person that you are. I don't think that one gender is harder than the other. I believe it has to do with the person, the specific person you're dealing with.
Okay. I'm running across an interesting scenario quite often on one of the shows that I'm on. We have a panel of six guys. The name of the show is Six Guys and You.
Hmm.
And a lot of times we have, various topics or various, current events that can come up in conversation. And, there is a age difference in the panelists.
Hmm.
We have, two of us are 65, one guy is 68, one guy is 72, and then we have two guys that are 55.
Hmm.
And one of the guys that's 55, he's always referencing, us older cats as being things are not the same now as they used to be. He's constantly referencing that.
Hmm.
So when you are dealing with people, whether it be male or female, do you find that the younger generation considers themselves to have more wisdom and knowledge than the older generation, and then quick to say, well, oh no, we ain't doing it like that because we used to do it like this,
Hmm.
that type of thing? Do you see that?
I actually would probably say I see the reverse. I
Okay.
see that more in older people. Um, and it probably stems from being confronted with what you just said, maybe persons or people in their sphere or their circle of influence always saying things are changing or you're older or we don't do it like that. And so I think that sometimes um, seasoned people can maybe come in defending themselves and their point of view and saying, I've been there, I've done this, this long. And then you can have maybe someone who's younger who jumps in and it can go back and forth. But I will say I probably have heard um, more seasoned people say things of, maybe like some things don't change or how long they've been doing something, and maybe come in, defending their point of view, maybe because of what they've experienced, in their
Mm-hmm.
circle.
Okay. Yeah. So you feel like, and this is just a universal question. Do you still feel like with all of the things that you see and experience that there's still hope for mankind?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As long as there is breath in our bodies, there is hope. There's something you haven't completed. There's something you're supposed to do that you have not done, and you've been graced another day to complete that because whatever you've been graced to do is going to bring hope if you walk in that. It's going to bring hope to someone who feels hopeless in that area. So everyone is graced to give hope and receive hope so
All
that
right
we're not
now.
just pouring out and not being filled up, but we're forever pouring and being poured into if, we are just of aware and willing of that cycle.
Okay. All right. Wow. That's very inspirational. Because some
Thank you.
folks were, and it's so crazy because over the weekend I was talking to a group of people, and they were like, like the world is coming to an end. We shouldn't have to do this, 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 and this. And I was like, the world is not coming to an end. You need to continue on like you got something to do and have your purpose, working towards your purpose and keep encouraged towards your purpose.
That's right.
So, and I don't know how well it went over, but I was just trying to let them know, stop looking for the end of a thing and look for, how you can make things better.
Right.
So that I definitely agree with that. So now we're midway through the show, and I want to make a little shift,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I'd like to talk about Tiff Tuesday. What is Tiff
Absolutely.
Tuesday? Tip Tuesday. I keep saying Tiff Tuesday. Tip
It's
Tuesday
Tiff
all about.
Tuesday. So this is a dynamic platform that I absolutely believe your audience would want to connect with, would be blessed by. We are going into our second season starting September 13th at
Okay.
7 p.m. We do air on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live. So on Facebook, you can find us at Tiffany Hale Tip Tuesday. On Instagram, you can find us at Tip Tuesday 1. And on um, YouTube, you can find us at Tip Tuesday with Tiffany A. Hale. So in any of those
Mm-hmm.
platforms that you're most comfortable with, you can find us on there. Go follow, subscribe. You can follow on Instagram and Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube. So we are a platform that we support Black businesses. We promote cultural progression. So we are all about um, unity within the tribe, supporting the tribe, helping each other progress, lifting each other up, and then also my personal passion, which is helping people find and follow their purpose. We do all of this within the platform. And so we do it by each Tuesday we make a post, we showcase a Black business or someone who is prominent in the community, someone who is dedicated to cultural progression, who is finding or following their purpose. So there's a post every Tuesday to support those who maybe even overlooked. Sometimes we can get the people who are seen, but we need to be supporting each person that's trying to follow their purpose. And then every other Tuesday, we have a actual talk show. So I have guests come on and we interview guests. It's entrepreneurs. We've had financial coaches. We've had ex NFL players, entertainers, MCs, you name it. If they're following in their purpose, and I feel personally connected to bring them on, and I think it's something that my audience or the tribe could benefit from, we bring them on. So like I said, we do health, we do fitness, we've done finances, we do shows on love. We have something that can touch what touches the everyday lives of people, especially within our community. So,
I love it.
yeah, we do promotion for it. And I just really think you would be, your audience will be blessed by the show. So, like I said, our first show is September 13th. Our first season was phenomenal. We had a end of season show. We had our first live audience. It was phenomenal. So we had a live audience. We had a celebration party afterwards, and it went amazing. Our summer season, we did do a show that commemorating Juneteenth. We had a
Okay.
community activist come on, and that show was great. And so after that, I've been coming in and sharing some pieces from my coaching development program and just doing posts. So in the summer seasons, we either do one show per month, or it's me coming on with my empowerment or encouragement snippets, and then we jump right back in for the fall season.
So all of the shows are available on your YouTube as well?
Absolutely. So every
Okay.
past show, so gearing up for season two, season one is no longer available on Facebook or Instagram, but all
Okay.
shows are on YouTube. So YouTube
Gotcha.
is where you will find each and every show. Um, for season two, every show that is on Facebook and on Instagram, you'll be able to see it on Facebook and on Instagram until season three launches. And then you'll be able to find everything on YouTube.
Okay. Well, as being a host myself, you have crazy stuff happen on your shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm going to ask this question,
Okay.
what's the craziest thing that has happened on one of your shows?
Um, I wouldn't say anything too crazy because, like I said, I personally connect with the people just to see if, their spirit and their purpose is really a good fit for the show. But I can say the show, maybe one of the craziest things, and I guess it wasn't that I had someone swear on my show, and I don't swear on the show. I don't swear, but I don't swear on the show. And I had someone, and they just kind of caught themselves, and the audience, like, we laughed, and because everyone who knows me knows that, like, I promote all positivity, and I don't I don't swear on the show. And so I think that was one thing that was funny, and everyone kind of got a laugh out of. And so I was like, I think on the show I was like, did you just cuss on my show? Did you just cuss on my show? And so that was kind of funny. But yeah, you know what? Really, it has. I can't say anything that I thought was just so crazy that I was just like, especially with the guests, that I was like bewildered after the show.
Yeah.
Maybe technical issues. Maybe
Yeah, those things happen, and ain't nothing you can do about them.
yeah, but no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Anything dealing with electronics and the internet, anything is subject to happen.
Yeah,
Always.
yes, yes. So
You know.
probably more so with that, which you would know, than than with the guests.
Yeah. I had a crazy incident that happened.
Oh,
Yeah, oh my God, things happen all the time that you have no control
yeah.
over.
Wow.
I used to do, before I started doing the YouTube channel,
Hmm.
I used to be at an internet radio station, probably about 10 or 15 years ago,
Okay.
Global News Forum. And I had a guest come on, a friend of mine. I've been knowing him for a long time, Carl West. He's kind of a real popular guy
Hmm.
in the community. I bring on community activists and things like that on my show.
Hmm.
He found out that he can cuss on internet radio. And see, there's no beep button. One of them buttons that you can just boop, boop, beep them
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
He found out that he can say anything that he wanted to say.
Oh my God.
So he was just cutting up like Cheetah in a Tarzan movie.
Mm-mm.
He was just acting crazy.
Mm.
So the general manager of the station, she paused the show. She said, "It's time to go to commercial." And we don't even have commercials. She's like,
Wow.
"Go to put a commercial on." We are not going to let him continue to act up.
Hmm.
So she shut the show down. And, I had a 2-hour show. So she shut the show down, busted into the studio and say, "You come with me." And she took him out of there. I
Wow.
was like, wow, he gonna get a whooping. But when you see stuff like that happen, that was like insane. And we weren't visual at that time. We were just all audio.
Right. Yeah. Oh.
So and the people that were listening to the show at that particular time, I know they lost it. They like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
I would have.
You know, and I
I'm
was
pretty sure
like,
they put two and two together.
yeah, I'm like, he bought it on himself, you
I'm,
know.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they put two and two together. I would have put it together.
Yeah, he bought it on himself. When we came back live, I said, we're one less person in the studio now. Oh. So now that we've got the worst thing that could possibly happen, so what was the best thing that ever happened on your show?
Wow, I've had so many great things happen. I think two of the best things that I've had happen on the show. One is my best friend, my sister, Catherine Anthony, who owns a salon. She's a master hairstylist. She's also a social media strategist and influencer. And she came on the show, and it was just so heartfelt because I saw where she began. When she
Hmm.
was working a job out of school and working a job and then a career, and then how she stepped out on faith and this conglomerate that she built. And she's always been one of my biggest inspirations on just stepping out on faith and doing what God has called you to do. So we had a really heartfelt show, and just to really be able to express to her and in the publicly proclaim how she is such an inspiration to me. And because I have a talk show, I'm in the forefront most of the time,
Hmm.
and it can appear that I am always the inspiration, but to be able to step out and say she's actually the inspiration for what made me step out and do what I'm doing now, and to have her, she was not only a guest on the show, she's also one of my executive producers. So
Okay.
um, I think that was great. And then when I had one of my closest friends from college, he is an ex NFL player. He played for the Bears. I think he played for San Francisco. He played for a couple of teams, and he came on to speak how football has always been his life and his purpose. And when he left the NFL, he thought that was it, and he hit rock bottom. And how God began to use him on the show, and he really broke down. And we just talked about how I was an encouragement to him, and what he's doing now is so encouragement because now he owns a training facility where he trains NFL players and he trains young boys. And in his um, training camp, it is God first, then football, because he grew up sports first and then everything else.
Right,
So
right.
I think just to have him come on and the number of people he touched on that show to say, because we know sometimes we can push our young men and our young women, especially when they're good and we know they're going to the NBA or NFL or baseball or tennis, and we know they're going to go. But what we have to teach them that they are more than the sport that they play. That may be part of the purpose,
Exactly.
but it evolves after the professional career or after the college career or
Exactly.
after the high school career. And for him he became very transparent on the show, like about struggles and
Yeah.
stuff I didn't even, know about. And so that
Right.
was so, I'm telling you, Dr. Ron, when people come on the show, it really, the atmosphere, it really opens up, or it really is conducive for people to really dig deep and to share like who they are and to bless someone else, because sometimes you can feel like people have it all together.
Yeah.
And that's not the truth. And we need to be able to, help other people not recreate the wheel or reinvent the wheel. And especially in this world of social media where everybody feels like they have to put on a perfect front. Look
Right.
perfect, perfect life. I'm never sad. I never have a downfall. I never have a failure. And you have these people come on and I had a newscaster from ABC 7 News. She was a guest, and this was not rehearsed. The show was so good. She just released the exclusive. It was my first like exclusive on the show. So she released the exclusive about an acting part that she had on a new show. So it was good. So I've had a lot of good moments, but I think the best moments are when I see people reach into a part of themselves that they didn't think they were going to reach into, that the show just touched a part of them and they allowed themselves to be transparent and vulnerable enough to share that with others.
Absolutely. Well, I know you finished your first season, and I definitely want to encourage you to continue doing many, many more.
Thank you.
It's so crazy. When I started like 15 years ago doing internet radio, it was not something that I wanted to be in front of the microphone again.
Mm,
I've been in the entertainment industry for over 45 years,
mm-hmm,
and I was comfortable being behind the scenes,
mm-hmm,
And then all of a sudden, the station reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, how would you like to come and be a part of what we're doing?" They gave me a 2-hour show, and I'm like, okay. So I developed this format for this show, and we started doing it. And I just, it just kind of evolved, and over time, I got kind of discouraged. I'm like, nobody listen to this. Why am I driving all the way down here in, South Shore to
mm-hmm,
the studio? And I don't know. I'm just like, look, and I was on my show. It was an event. I would, furnish libations, because I got a wine sponsor.
mm-hmm,
Uh, I would be bringing snacks and all kinds of food, because I would every now and then I would bring a food, advertiser in, and I would let them serve food, to the audience, to the guests, and we talk about the food, during the show.
mm-hmm,
So I was doing an awful lot of work, and I just kind of like, I'm like, man, I'm gonna finna quit doing this.
mm,
And then something happened. I had got a phone call from a person that was listening to a particular show that I was doing,
mm-hmm,
and the show was about single fathers
mm,
and the struggle that single fathers have.
mm-hmm,
The system was not set up for fathers to be the single parent
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
guardian for their child or children.
This is interesting. This is something Tip Tuesday is touching on. This.
And the system is just not designed for
Mhm,
that. It's designed for mothers, but
mhm.
it's not set up for fathers. So he was telling about the struggle and all of the things that he went through. And I got a phone call from somebody that was listening to the show. And he told me, he said, man, that show was so powerful, man. You said some things on that show because he had got to a point where he was so depressed
Wow.
that he was ready to commit suicide.
My God. Mm.
And after listening to the show, it encouraged him to continue to live.
Wow. That's a blessing.
And I was like, okay, what did I say?
Mm, mm.
Because I'm at that point. I want to say that again.
Right, right.
Whatever it is I said,
Yeah, let it out.
please tell me what I said. Because I don't even remember what I said
Mhm.
that encouraged him. But it touched his heart.
Yeah.
And his testimony encouraged me to the point where I don't know who's listening,
See?
never who's,
Right.
and I don't even worry about who's listening or not listening. I just show up and do what I do,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, and I say, okay, whether they hear it today, tomorrow, next week, next year, it's still going to be just as
Right.
inspirational
I
with
agree.
what I do. Like,
Agree.
I had no idea. Some people think the show is scripted. It's not scripted. I just met this woman last week,
Yeah.
okay? And I invited her, and she had the wherewithal to say yes. And she came on here, and she's breaking down what she do and how she do it. And I'm a fan, and I
Well,
haven't,
thank you.
I can't wait for the new season. I'm gonna be up binge watching one night on your YouTube channel, trying to
Love
catch
it.
up with everything
We
that's
love
been
it.
going
We love
on
it.
the last year. But I'm a fan, and I felt encouraged to invite you, and I'm glad you accepted the invitation
Thank you.
because I feel like there's not enough shows like what you're doing, you know. And my show is totally free. It's not scripted, y'all. It's like she can't pay me money to do what I, say things about her. I just, like, and I told her. She said, "Well, what are we gonna talk about?" I said, "I have no idea." I told her that when we did the test. She said, "Cause she wanted to be prepared." I was like, "Just show up." I said, "You know who you are, right? Then we'll take it from there. As long as you can talk about yourself, we'll be fine." And look at how it's looking. And I hope that story that I told encourages you because you don't know who might be listening and need to hear
It
what
does.
you are doing at that particular time. And it has inspired me. Now look at me. I'm on TV and I ain't even the prettiest person in the world, but I'm on TV now and I'm on here, trying to do what I do and then let you see me do what I'm doing. So that's
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. So I
No,
just keep on doing it.
I am encouraged, and that does encourage me because it does get hard. It's not easy, doing this. It's not easy showing up, whatever the schedule is, week after week, bi-weekly, pouring into people. Pouring into people can be draining. We have to
Exactly.
make sure we take care of ourselves. We're looking out for the community and we are pouring into the community and we have to make sure that we're doing that for ourselves. So I just appreciate you even reaching out and
Hmm.
just even being blessed by what I was saying in this conversation with just some friends just talking and just it was my point of view that I gave, and so even that someone was interested in what I would have to say because it's just my opinion, was a blessing. And even in that, even you reaching out, it gives motivation to keep going in what you're doing.
Right. Exactly. And I like to be inspirational because when I first started doing this, like I said, 15 years ago, there was not many people interested in doing internet anything.
Hmm. I can
Okay.
imagine.
So being one of the pioneers of starting this thing up and keep it going and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I try to encourage other people because I feel like the format is validated now.
Hmm.
When you have people like yourself that's going into a second season, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And a lot of people I was telling another broadcast friend of mine because he was saying, well, the market is flooded now. So many people are doing podcasts and doing things. I said, but, I told him, I said, bruh, we ain't got to worry about it. We was already here in this marketplace.
Yeah.
Some of these people, when the world opened back up, they going out back outside and start doing other stuff. They ain't going to stay here and do what
Mhm.
we're doing, so don't
And
worry
that
about it.
something that's flooded, it doesn't mean it's flooded with your specific gift to the world.
Exactly.
Only you can give what God gave you to people. And it doesn't matter if
Exactly.
we all have a show, but there's something that specifically that God gave each of us that we're able to give to people. So there's room for everyone who is walking in their purpose. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be something that God gave you to do.
Absolutely. So now you got Tip Tuesday. I said it right this time. Do
Mhm.
you have a vision for other shows?
Um, Not now. I'm just focusing on Tip Tuesday and wherever God expands us with that. As I said, I do clips and videos from IP Squared, but that is more of the coaching program, and there's going to be a portal and a website for that for people who are actually enrolled in the program. And I will be the co-host of a upcoming podcast, like I told you all, which will be called Real Talk. So you can catch me on any of these avenues, platforms, but my main platform is Tip Tuesday, and you'll catch me as the co-host of Real Talk.
Fantastic. It has been so much fun having you on the show
Thank
today.
you. Likewise.
So I always like to ask a couple of questions, two, not a couple, but two. That's the same thing. But two questions of my guests before the show is over with. And before I ask my questions, did we cover everything that you wanted to cover before we get to the questions today?
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone who is watching and who will watch the replay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Dr. Ron. And we hope to see you September 13th at 7 p.m. That is a Tuesday, Tip Tuesday. So we always normally air on a Tuesday, and we hope to see you for that show.
Yeah, and see, that's after my show, y'all. See, I
Yep,
start at 5. So she
exactly.
come on at 7,
At
so ain't no
7. Yes,
conflict. You
yes,
can watch us both,
yes.
okay? You know. So to my questions. First question: will you come back and see me again?
Absolutely.
Thank you. See, I got it on tape, so I can always bring it back up and say, "She said yes." See, right there on the video, you said yes.
Absolutely.
And the second question is, what would you like to leave with the people before you leave today?
Something that I always like to leave with, especially when there's an audience involved, and especially when you're watching a show like Ask Dr. Ron. I feel like you are already in a certain place, a certain mentality or a certain environment. So it would be appropriate to say this to you. Whatever, there's not, sometimes people feel like whatever their purpose may be is not big enough because I'm not supposed to be on TV, or I'm not supposed to be on radio, or I don't have this big thing where I want to be in front of millions of people. And so they will minimize who they are and what they're supposed to be doing. But I just want you to know, whatever it is that you're called to do it, and do it with your whole heart, because it's not just the people in front of the screen that are needed. Um, Dr. Ron and I may be in front of the screen, but guess how many people we have to have who operate in their gifts to help us behind the screen, to help us know how to set up things, how to go forth. No one person can do everything. And even if they are doing it, they had to learn it from someone who already has that gifting to do it. So whatever God has called you to do, you are needed, you are special, and only you can do it. So just pursue. If you don't know what it is, start with what your natural talent is. Start with what you're passionate about. And from there, sometimes you don't know what you want to do till you find out what you don't want to do. So
Hmm.
sometimes you just got to find out that ain't my thing. And guess what? You can keep going through whatever you need to go through. But I just encourage you, keep going, find purpose, follow purpose, it has the most fulfillment that you'll ever enjoy, that you'll ever find.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Thank you for that.
Thank
You
you.
know, once again, I just want to speak some words of encouragement into you and what you're doing. Keep up the good work. You
Thank you.
know, don't let rough days or stormy weather slow you down. Keep showing up, doing what you're doing. Like you said, you never know who's going to be
Never know.
witnessing, seeing what you're doing, and they see your determination and your ability to keep going even in the midst of a storm,
Mm.
and it will encourage someone else to be able to get their strength together to keep on going through what they're going through.
Yeah.
So once again, I want you to give the information. You mentioned the website, you mentioned the shows, please mention them again. I want to get it to them.
Facebook, Tiffany Hale. You can follow me on there. It's Tiffany Hale Tip Tuesday. Instagram is Tip Tuesday 1. And YouTube is Tip Tuesday with Tiffany A. Hale. If you have any questions, you can email me at admin, that's ADMIN, at tiptuesday.net. Be happy to hear from you.
All right, that sounds good. Now, look, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. Don't bother this woman for nothing now. You better have a reason to reach out to her because she already busy. Okay, she don't need no foolishness, for y'all to be trying to bother her on. Okay, we had a couple of people that popped in. I saw Kathy,
Hi, Kathy.
Shanika Robinson.
Hi,
She
Shanika.
popped in. They were here earlier, and then they dropped in and dropped out. Like I said, we get a lot of people that just want to see what's happening and they don't stick around. But now you got to go back and watch the show from the beginning because this show is over with for today. You late. But once again, Miss Tiffany, thank you
You're
for
welcome. Thank you.
allowing this to happen. And I look forward to the next time, even the more. Kathy's still there. Uh, the next time, I look forward to the next time because I know we're gonna have even more fun when you come on again. So stay
Absolutely.
right there. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna end the show for the day. You guys, I want to encourage you all to come out and visit me on Thursdays at YouTube and Facebook at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's the show that we were talking about, Six Guys and You on Street News Now. You can find us in all formats. Just look up Street News Now. You'll be able to find us, and we are there. Have interesting conversation. Also, want to encourage you guys to join me each and every Saturday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. We have From the Desk of Dr. Ron. That's where I get a chance to put some interesting words of wisdom on you, and you will enjoy those words of wisdom because most people do. Also, I want to invite you to go over to ask-dr-ron.com. And when you get over there, please support all of my advertisers. They make it possible for me to do what I do. Without them, it would be very difficult for me to do what I do. I want to thank all those that have made contributions. Please continue to do so. We need your support. And subscribe. You're here. Hit that little subscribe button, like and share right here on YouTube. Just hit the button while you're here. It's not that hard. Just hit that button and keep up with what we got going on. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Appreciate you all. We had a wonderful guest, and we will get her back again. Maybe midway point of her, new season is, see if she had a meltdown yet. We're going to find out. We're going to keep up with her and see what's going on. So thank you all. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and see you all